You've seen the headlines, and you probably heard the buzz. Palm Bay is absolutely booming. It's one of Florida's fastest growing cities. And guess what? The numbers don't lie. The population has been climbing for years, and in 2026, it has officially blasted past 150,000 residents. That kind of growth rate makes other cities green with envy. The official story paints a picture of a sun-drenched paradise on the Space Coast that everyone is flocking to. But if you look a little closer, past the developer brochures and census data, a completely different story is starting to unfold. While thousands are moving in, chasing that dream of affordable Florida living, a steady stream of residents are quietly packing their bags and heading for the exit. It's not some mass exodus you'll see on the nightly news, but it's a real departure, driven by on-the-ground frustrations. So, what's the honest truth about living in Palm Bay today? It's a city of contradictions, a place that's pulling people in and pushing them out all at the same time. That's why today, we're breaking down the 5 real reasons why some people are actually leaving Palm Bay. And those of you who are brave enough to buy, sell, or invest here in Palm Bay, feel free to reach out as the link to book a call is in the description below. Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. My name is Stephen Thomas, and as a real estate professional right here in the Space Coast, my world is this market. I'm not just looking at spreadsheets. I'm talking to people every single day who are buying and selling in this area. I see the contracts, I hear the stories, and I analyze the trends that go way beyond the population stats. My goal isn't to scare you away from Palm Bay. It's to give you the complete, unvarnished picture. Because if you're thinking about moving here, or you're a longtime resident wondering if you're the only one feeling the squeeze, you deserve the whole story. So let's get into it. The number one reason people are starting to look for the exit is the ever-widening gap between local wages and housing costs. For decades, Palm Bay's main selling point was its affordability. It was the haven you escaped to when Orlando or Miami got too expensive. You could get a nice home with a yard for a fraction of the cost. But in 2026, that dream is getting a lot harder to hold on to. While the Brevard County median home price has cooled a bit, it was still sitting around $375,000 in early 2026. Here's the real kicker. One recent analyst from January of 2026 found that to comfortably afford a median price home in Palm Bay, a household needs to earn nearly $86,000 a year. The problem? The median household income is reportedly closer to the $72,000 range. That creates a huge gap where a typical family is priced out of owning a typical home. In fact, the data shows that only about 45% of the homes for sale in Palm Bay are actually affordable for a median income earner. Think about that. More than half the market is out of reach for the majority of the population. People are finding themselves stuck. They were drawn here for affordability, but now they're either trapped in renting or are completely house poor with a mortgage payment that suffocates their budget. For many, the only solution is to pack up and find a place where the math still makes sense. The second reason is a statewide crisis that's hitting Palm Bay homeowners like a ton of bricks: the insane cost of homeowners insurance. This isn't just a small price hike, it's a budget destroying expense that is literally forcing some people to sell their homes. Across Florida, premiums have exploded. While the national average hovers around $2,500 a year, some reports place the average in Florida at over $7,000. In Palm Bay, residents are feeling the pain directly. The city's average annual premium is around $3,300, but that's just the starting point. It's common to hear stories from homeowners getting quotes anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 a year, and especially for older homes. That can add an extra $600 to $800 a month on top of your mortgage. For a family on a tight budget already, that kind of unexpected hit is a knockout punch. The crisis is a perfect storm of hurricane risk, nonstop litigation, and insurance companies fleeing the state. For Palm Bay residents, the result is severe financial strain. It's one thing to budget for a mortgage and taxes. It's another to be blindsided by a massive non-negotiable insurance bill that costs more than your car. For a growing number of people, the sunshine just isn't worth the financial storm. And they're moving to states where they don't have to dread opening their renewal letter. The third reason people are leaving is a direct result of the city's runaway success. The painful and very visible strain on its infrastructure. Palm Bay is massive by land area, but for a long time, it was mostly empty space. Now builders are putting up homes at a rapid pace, but the infrastructure, the roads, the utilities, and the services is gasping for air trying to keep up. Traffic is the top complaint. Key arteries like Malabar Road and Babcock Street, these roads were pretty much designed for a much smaller town. Now, they're frequently choked with congestion, turning a simple commute into a daily frustration. And since the city is almost entirely residential, nearly everyone has to drive for shopping, dining, and work, which just pours cars onto the same few roads. To make matters worse, while road widening projects are underway, the construction itself is causing even more chaos in early 2026, with multiple work zones creating a constant maze of detours and lane closures. And guess what? It goes beyond traffic. Large parts of the city were planned without central utilities, relying on well and septic systems. The sprawling grid layout, lacking a true downtown core, means amenities are scattered and disconnected. Now, for residents who move here expecting a quiet, easygoing lifestyle, the daily reality of traffic jams and feeling like they live in an endless suburb is pushing them to look for smaller, better planned communities. Now, no city is perfect, but when it comes to crime in Palm Bay, the data is so contradictory, it's become a major source of concern all by itself. Depending on which report you pull, you get a completely different picture. And that uncertainty is a huge factor for people to decide to leave. On one hand, some analysts paint a worrying picture. One source claims Palm Bay's crime rate is higher than 63% of other cities in Florida, with an overall chance of being a victim of crime at 1 in 74. But then you look at another source and it gives Palm Bay an A safety grade, ranking it as safer than 90% of the US cities. To make it even more confusing, long-term trends based on FBI data from a few years ago actually projected that crime in Palm Bay was decreasing. So what's the truth? The reality seems to be that safety in Palm Bay can vary dramatically from one neighborhood to the next. While some parts of the city are considered very safe, the conflicting citywide statistics are a major red flag for families and anyone prioritizing security. And when you can't get a straight answer about safety, it erodes your confidence in the community. And for some, finding a place where they feel undeniably secure is worth more than anything. And that's enough to make them leave. The final reason is a bit of a paradox. The Space Coast job market is on fire, with huge aerospace and tech companies like L3 Harris based right here. This is what's fueling the population boom. The problem, however, is the disconnect between the high-paying jobs being created and the wages paid for most of the other jobs. And this is all while the cost of living skyrockets. Now, while there are six-figure engineering and tech positions, a large portion of Palm Bay's residents work in the service, retail, and tourism industries, where wages haven't come close to keeping up with the housing and insurance costs. This creates two different Palm Bays, one for the high-income professionals who can comfortably afford the lifestyle, and another for the working class family who are finding it harder and harder to make ends meet. And because Palm Bay is so heavily residential, many people are forced to commute to Melbourne or other cities for work, adding time and gas money to their daily expenses. Residents also complain about a lack of diverse career paths outside a few key industries. This feeling of being just a bedroom community instead of a city with its own vibrant economy is leading people to seek other places with a more balanced job market, and also where their paycheck goes a little further. Now, after hearing all of this, you might think Palm Bay is a bad place to live, right? Absolutely not. It's critical to remember that for every person leaving, many more are still moving in, and for good reason. Now, the housing market, while tricky, is still far more affordable than South Florida or many other parts of the country. You can still find new construction and get a good amount of space for your money. Its location is fantastic with easy access to the beach, Kennedy Space Center, and many of Orlando's theme parks. Plus, for anyone who loves the outdoors, the city's parks and nature preserves are a huge draw. The honest truth is that Palm Bay in 2026 is a city in transition, a city that's wrestling with consequences of its own incredible growth, but for some, that combination of rising costs, frustrating traffic, and confusing safety data has tipped the scales for them. And for others, leaving is the right move. But for the vast majority, especially those remote workers or those with solid incomes, and especially in key industries in Palm Bay still represents a fantastic opportunity for you. The story of Palm Bay is a cautionary tale for any boomtown. The very things that make it attractive, if not managed carefully, can become the exact reasons people decide to move on. So, what do you guys think? If you're a Palm Bay local, do these reasons hit home for you? Are there other challenges you're facing right now? And if you're thinking about moving here, does this change your perspective? Drop a comment below. I read every single one and I respond to every single one. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest here in Palm Bay or any of the neighboring areas, feel free to reach out as the link to book a call is in the description below. Treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. And if you found this video helpful and want more honest insights into the Florida real estate market, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. I'd love to help all of you guys navigate this complex market. So don't be afraid to reach out. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.